What's going on, guys? We are going to be discussing another Dragon Ball daima video today. We're going to be discussing episode 3. So first off, if you guys have seen the episode, let me know what your thoughts were about it. Also, leave a like on the video. Definitely appreciate it. Let me know what you thought about the video. Let me know what you thought about the episode. This episode was a lot of action-packed, a little bit more of learning about what's going on with the story. So we see where Glorio is taking Supreme Kind of Goku out of the Earth's atmosphere, and Goku's like, "Oh wow, it's already out of sight." And because the plane is so fast, where he explains that's the reason why they have it for traveling through stellar dimensions and being able to travel. So what we see is Glorio takes both of them to the area of where the demon realm warp is, where it's a warp gate, and it's a fish. Obviously, what we saw Goma and everyone go through, and what we find out is Glorio's plan through all this was to get Goku from the king, who we find out his name's Kadan from the third realm, and he wanted to meet Goku, and he had Glorio go to the realm, all the realms, so that we could find the information, then get Goku, so they could take out Goma. Now, Goma apparently, from what Glorio said, is very crafty. He's powerful, and he's very shady and creative, but he still needs to be watched. And when they go to the warp gate, we see where Goku's making comments about Warp, saying he looks like a goldfish, and Warp gets angry, even though he says that he looks like a big-eyed fish, which is another term for a goldfish. And Supreme Kai says, "You have to be quiet, otherwise he's not going to let us through." Now, again, we find out in this episode where you have to have permission to get in to leave the demon realm, and also a pin, and Supreme Kai was not around for that time. And we see where Supreme Kai has to use his magic so that way he can show Goku has demon ears so they can get back into the demon realm. And when they do, they see three different little openings, which is for the first realm, the second realm, and the third realm. The third realm is where they're going, and another or fish sees them and says, "Where are you going?" And they tell him. He says, "Okay, then you get going." So you can see that Warp is very strict, that he does not like whether you're an outsider or not an outsider to be within the in between realm, or even asking to leave or to come in, which is very interesting. And again, so curious on who made that rule. But we also see when they go through to warp to the in between and then going into whatever realm, they just spin a lot. So it made Goku almost want to vomit. And they finally get into the third realm, and we see the landscape, what we saw in the trailer, which was gorgeous. And Goku is just all like, "Oh my gosh," and they get out, and he notices the air is really heavy, and it's because of these volcanoes that are leaking this type of gas, and it makes the air very stuffy, and if you try to move, it's going to make you slow. Well, they do get attacked by bandits, and it really makes things kind of crazy, because Goku's like, "Okay, how come I can't move?" But it's because of the gas. And Gloria whips out his pistol and just starts shooting at him, and he says, "Bandits, we need to get out of here." And when they start going through more, he notices the more thicker it comes, they could shred the plane if they go any faster. And even Goku makes a comment, says, "Well, I could fart in here and no one would ever know." And then finally, when they go for even further, they see the explosion, and then they smell something. They're like, "Oh yeah, it's more powerful than normal." And Goku's like, "Hey, yeah, that was me." And they're going further into the demon realm, and they see a king. They see the statue of Deborah, which was obviously the previous demon king, and that's when it gets brought up about Gloria was sent by King Kadan to get Goku. Then he says, "Okay, we need to stop for the night, because the plan was to get you, and then tomorrow morning be able to meet them, and then we go over a plan." And Glorio gets asked by Supreme Kai, "Well, what do you do?" He says, "Well, I've been in the second realm and the first realm." He says, "But I work in the first one." He says, "Well, what do you do?" He says, "This and that." So he didn't go into details of what he does, but they stop in this town, and you could tell this was heavily emphasized by Star Wars, because I got a lot of New Hope vibes from this. And again, from everything I've heard, Toriyama loves Star Wars, so that's where a lot of his ideas came from. Obviously, you can see that Glorio has kind of like a Han Solo thing going on, which is cool. And they go into the hotel, and the hotel owner tries to swindle them out of, I think, 30,000 yen, I'm assuming, or their version of yen. And he just looks at him, and he pulls him. He says, "I don't think you know who you're dealing with." He's, "Okay, okay, 5,000. He says, "That's more like it." And then he says, "Are y'all too good with sharing a room?" Once he does that, Goku is of course hungry. They go over to a bar to get demon burgers and some drinks, and Goku of course orders five, And when they start eating, they get noticed by all these demons. They get harassed, and Glorio pulls out some punches, man. He literally tosses a drink in a demon's face and just roughs up like two or three of them. So Glorio knows how to fight and he knows how to shoot. But it kind of makes me wonder, these are just kind of underlings, you know what I mean? So it makes me wonder, how good will he be in an actual fight with an actual very tough opponent? But then, of course, they go after Goku, and this was absolutely hilarious. I got a lot of vibes from Dragon Ball, OG Dragon Ball, during this, where he uses two pans to fight and block punches and smacks them, and then chewing a burger while he's fighting, and then just unleashes his martial arts ability to take out all these underlying demons, and then finally being able to stop them. And he's gotten used to his body finally. He's like, oh, I think I'm finally getting used to it, and he asks us for another burger. The bartender's like, yeah, right, yes, sir, yes, sir. And it was hilarious. So we got to see that from the trailer, and then when you see Goku and Supreme Kai sleeping in their room, these underlings are saying we're going to get them back, just you wait. Well, they wake up the next morning, Glorio gets Goku to Supreme Kai, then they go to get to their plane and it is gone. So, and you see just an accidental note. So obviously it was the underlings in the bar that wanted to give them chaos, and that's how the episode ends. So it looks like they're going to have to walk from here. This is where they're going to meet the other female character that they're going to be introducing very soon. I love this episode. I did. I loved it. I loved that we got more information, and we also got another tad bit of information that Glorio stated that yes, he's from this realm, the third realm, but he was being worked, had work in the first realm. Supreme Kai's kind is from the second realm because he said, he says, I'm supposing by your appearance you're a blind, I think he said. And he said, by your exterior, he says, I'm guessing y'all never came to the third realm. So now we got to know a little bit more about Supreme Kai's particular race, which is something I know a lot of people in the fandom wanted to learn, especially myself. I really want to know that as well. So I'm guessing the third one is like the bottom of the barrel. The second one is for, like, I would say ones that are very well off to a certain degree. And the first one is for ones that have permission to go into the first realm, and also those that are royalty or very well off for their stance within the demon realm. And also where there was a big hole that was open and it had a big gate, like a magical gate. And Supreme Kai said when he was younger, you could go through there, but then over time they closed it because they denied it. So it kind of makes you wonder who did that as well. So there's a lot of unanswered questions. There's going to be a lot of unanswered theories. Gives me some video ideas possibly to think about. But I like this episode. What did you guys think about it? Did you guys enjoy it? Was it okay? Are you still getting used to daima, or are you not wanting to try it anymore? But either way, what are your thoughts about it? Of course, like I said, loving it. But let me know what you think, and I'll see you as always on the next one.